What's going on, guys? Graham Armina here with WhatCulture.com. Today we're talking to Maggie Lawson, head of Psych 3. This is Gus on Thursday, November 18th, dropping on Peacock. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone's looking forward to it. Maggie, how are you?
I'm great, Graham. Thanks for that intro. How are you?
Absolutely doing great. And I've been looking forward to this one for a while because we've had these movies for the last couple of years. This is the third installment so soon after the second one, too. So people really don't have to wait that long for this third one, which is great. And it's wild, too, because 2021, not to date anyone, but it marks 15 years since the show first started. That is crazy. Can you believe that?
Completely insane. We've all actually just been talking about how long we've known each other and how much
Mhm.
life we've had together. It's a lot. I love that you were like, not to age anyone. You can age us. Doesn't it feel like Psych 3 to me feels like it feels like a like grown up Psych. Like
Mhm.
we're growing up a little.
Yeah. No,
Just
it's fun. It's funny that you mentioned that because I'm 26 and I started watching the show around the time that it started. So 15 years ago, and it's just amazing to see how far it's come since then in the form of movies now, and it's wild from the show to the movies. And to think it's been 15 years is crazy. Like I remember first seeing you on that Model Behavior movie, Disney Channel movie, like 20 years ago, which is crazy. So I've basically grown up on your work. Is it weird to hear that
you
people
were
have like grown?
6?
Well, I
Oh,
mean, I didn't watch it when it first came out, but like a couple of years later on Disney
right,
Channel,
of course.
you know?
You were like, I was too young to watch it when it actually came out. Thanks, Grant.
Exactly, yeah.
But anyway, no, yeah, that was a really fun experience, actually.
Yeah, no, that's such a funny movie. But with that being said, is it crazy to hear that like you are basically the childhood for so many people with Psych and all your other movies as well? But to see how far you've come in the last 15 years, is that crazy for you to hear?
Oh my gosh, that it is. It's so funny because we're just like in it still. But when I actually stop and I think about that, like I think about where my life was, I think that's what's been happening in sort of talking about Psych 3, even in doing these
Hmm.
interviews, is thinking about where we all were in our lives when Psych first came to us
Hmm.
and how long ago that was. You were just saying 15 years, model behavior being 20 years ago. Like it's been a while, but like so many things had to happen for all of us to come together and for
Hmm.
Psych to be what it is. And so it is, it's actually just like really powerful and it's really mind blowing. And yes, I feel old sometimes. Yes.
That's why I said not to date or age anyone. That's why I started off with that.
You are so nice. You are. No, that was nice.
And with that being said too, does it take time to get back into the role of Jules O'Hara on the show? After doing it for so long consistently, and there's a little bit of time in between each movie and whatever. Does it take time to get back into the character, or is it like instant, like with the chemistry of the cast sort of thing?
It's pretty instant. It feels. I mean, we hang out so much in real life anyway.
Hmm.
But the first movie I think for me was because that was the longest period of time from when we'd seen each other, and the fact that Tim wasn't there,
Yeah.
that was a really weird feeling to have.
Hmm.
I think so when he came back by movie 2, we were just all back in because the whole family was back together again.
Yep.
So that felt really natural. And this time around, as well. I mean, I think this time was even more intense, more special because we'd all just come off of, well, and we're still in this pandemic.
Yeah.
But we were quarantined for 2 weeks in Canada before we could see each other. A lot of us, I know for me, for most of us, we hadn't even been on a set yet since like
Hmm.
the original lockdown of everything. So to come back in and all be together and all see each other made this one even sweeter. So it just felt like I think the writers have always done a really good job of writing to, you know, to where we are or incorporating our own personalities and life, what's going on in our lives, especially Tim in this one, into the movies. So in a lot of ways, like we get to keep growing with the characters. The characters are growing with us. I don't know which one that goes, but like which way that goes, but yeah, it does. Now it just feels like we're back in it again. Yeah.
So it's funny you mentioned that because that was my next question for you. Because like the first one, it was like 3 or 4 years after the show had just ended, so it kind of felt like a reunion. The second movie kind of feels like you're kind of you're finding your footing again, not just you, but like everyone in the cast in general. The
Yeah.
third one is like,
Yeah.
yeah, and then like getting right back into it with the third one. And I think I had seen someone said, I forgot who it was, who said the movie is like, Psych is now a franchise with each movie's coming out now. So
Yeah.
it's wild, as
Yeah.
far as like the storytelling. So you kind of mentioned why this one is so special but is it cool to know now that like you're part of like, and I don't want to say a saga, but I guess something along those lines, with the Psych movies, it's awesome.
Yes, because that's cool. But also we the fact that we are so close in real life, the fact that we get to keep making these, like, it's one thing if we were just still friends and family as we are. I mean, we really truly are in real life as well. But the fact that we get to keep coming back and also making this movie, like, I always say, like, the Psychos, which are Psych fans. That's not that's what they call
Yeah.
And sorry for that loud thing that's coming back, but and you guys are the reason we're still here. So in a lot of ways, there's like this new family. We didn't even realize it. I don't know if anybody's told you this story yet, but like, we didn't even know when we first premiered, like, we were on USA. USA at the time was like this new cable thing. We were like, they were just starting to do Monk, whatever. It
Mhm.
wasn't until we went to our first Comic-Con and we were like, this is going to be embarrassing. There's going to be 5 people in the audience. Like, who knows about our show?
Yeah.
And the ballroom was packed, and it was like standing room only. And that's when we were like, oh, this is cool. And as you just said, being somebody who were a baby when it came out, we now have new fans and new followers, and like even people who were older, like, have kids now that are watching it. And so they're just kind of keeping it alive. And to be a part of shows that have that kind of long-standing thing, which are a lot of shows I love, actually, is a pretty cool thing. And we don't think about it that often. Like, you just saying it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And that fan base hasn't gone anywhere either. So this movie was announced at New York Comic-Con about a month ago. And when I first saw the announcement, I thought it was going to be like this awesome cast like reveal in person. Like, it was going to happen in person, but it was all just over Zoom.
Yeah.
And it was like a pre-recorded thing, whatever. But just even the fact that it was like a pre-recorded thing, so many people showed up just to watch. Like, it's amazing. It was cool. Like, just to see you guys were on a screen and the entire room was filled with Psychos. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was.
I would have loved it if we could have gone. That'll be a really fun reunion when we can actually go in person to something again. Yeah. San Diego, New York, one of the Comic-Con, like that crowd, and see the Psychos, and that'll be really special. But that's so cool. That's so cool to hear.
Oh, it was so cool. The dreaded pandemic kind of preventing us from getting those special moments, but at some point.
We'll get them again.
Exactly. And last question for you, Maggie, as we wind down here, talking about the movie. Not only that, you got the podcast going on now, which is awesome. The Rewatch podcast. Talk about that a little bit. How fun is that for you?
Well, we're so excited. Honestly, Tim and I, it's kind of a no-brainer for us just because, I think actually over the last couple of years, especially with so much that's happened in the world and everything else, we've just talked about how lucky we are that we all have each other. We get to keep doing this. But like, to go back to the beginning and think about where we all were in our lives then, which I kind of touched on earlier, and then to tell these stories of how Psych came to be, and then to actually get to go episode by episode and kind of grow through it again, and how we got here it's been wild. So far we've done we've done 5, I think, so far, 6 that Steve Franks will be the first one sort of talking about how Psych even came to be. But we've laughed, we've cried, we are telling some stories. There are stories that, like Tim was just saying in a previous interview, he was like, there were certain things he didn't know and I didn't know, and things James was saying in his interview. I was like, you what? Like, who else was up for your role? This is crazy. So I think it's just really fun because the Psychos are now a part of the family. And so I think even going back and being able to tell these stories and then include them and have that kind of interaction, which is what we really want to have and really want to do, is going to be really special. It has been for us so far. Mostly, I mean, Tim and I just get to hang out every week, so which we do anyway. But but it's cool, yeah. And we're breaking it all down again.
Yeah, and people get to hear you hang out on the podcast, which is cool. And the timing couldn't be better with the movie coming out, next Thursday, November 18th, which is going to be awesome.
We're really excited about that too. I think we actually do a little special. One of the podcasts is special for the movie, so that'll come out around the same time. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and hopefully bring new people even to see it and to start watching Psych.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, Maggie, people can check out the movie next Thursday, November 18th on Peacock. Psych 3, This Is Gus. Like I said, Maggie, big fan of your work, from Model Behavior.
Oh, sweet.
Santa Clarita Diet. My girlfriend watches the show. She's like a big fan. She
One
knows exactly.
of my favorite roles ever. When somebody says like, what was your favorite? I'm like, it's definitely up there, if not like top 2, 3. That role. That was so fun. Thank you for mentioning that. Thank you for mentioning Model Behavior too. You're so nice. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Maggie. Great meeting you. Great speaking to you. I wish you all the best. Best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much, Graham.
Thanks, Maggie. Have a great day.